Day 3. The Wright brothers didn't know, neither did the little bird. One thing I do know, said the bird, this is trying even my patience. Now, don't get mad, little bird. Let's remember what my father taught us, said one of the Wright brothers. Lots of things are hard to do, but if we keep working, we can do almost anything we want to. We have to find a way to make the air pressure under the wings stronger, said one of the Wright brothers. That would lift the glider off the ground and hold it up. Could you put an engine in your glider? Asked the bird. Would that do it? The engine would make more wind go under the wings and keep it up in the air much longer, said one of the Wright brothers. It might work. The Wright brothers studied some more, and at last they decided they were ready. They wrote letters to people who made engines. We wish to purchase an engine, they wrote. We will put the engine into a glider and make an airplane. An airplane is a glider with an engine in it. The Wright brothers mailed their letters, and do you know what happened? Back came answers from the engine companies. Not one of them wanted to sell an engine to the Wright brothers. I wouldn't want any of my engines to go up in anything so silly, wrote one man. And if people were supposed to fly, they would have been born with wings. What do you think the Wright brothers did then? They used their brains and their hands, and they made their own engine. It took a long, I'll bet you thought that already before I turned the page. It took a long, long time, but that didn't upset the Wright brothers. By now, they knew that everything about flying took a long time. At last, said one of the Wright brothers, when the engine was finished. I'm sure our engine will work, said the other. But do you think it did? Look at that propeller. It wasn't turning. The engine wouldn't even start. I don't know anything about engines, said the little bird. I only know that I learned to fly in a week or two, and it's taking you years. That's okay. We'll be patient, said Orville. We won't get mad, and we won't give up, declared Wilbur. We'll keep trying. They did. They kept on working on their engine. Then it happened. The engine choked and sputtered. Then it roared loudly, and the propeller spun around. At last, chirped the bird. It works, cried the Wright brothers. Now we have an engine, they said. We'll put it into our glider. Maybe then we'll have a real airplane, one that will take off and fly. Did they truly have an airplane? No, they did not. Oh, the engine worked nicely once it was put into the glider, but the glider couldn't fly. The engine was too heavy. What will we do now, wondered the Wright brothers. Are you going to get mad and quit? Asked the little bird. It was quite worried. No, we'll work some more, sighed the Wright brothers. They went back and looked at their plans for the airplane. They made changes in the plans. They made changes in the glider. They made changes in the engine. Then one day at Kitty Hawk, a wonderful thing happened. The glider, with the engine roaring, lifted off the ground. It flies. It finally flies, shouted Orville. He was steering the airplane. It's like a big bird. It didn't fly quite as well as a bird, but it was the first time in the history of the world that an airplane ever lifted off the ground. It took a long time to make an airplane fly, but when it finally happened, the Wright brothers were very happy. They knew how good it feels when you have patience. When you look up and see a modern airplane, you might remember how long it took to make the first airplane. You might even like to think about how you feel when you bring patience into your own life. Of course, you can't invent the first airplane. That has already been done. And what you may want to do may be very different indeed, but you might like to think about how having patience can help you. Then perhaps you can be happier doing what you want to do, just like our patient friends, the Wright brothers. Patience pays off for Wright brothers. Wright brothers fly. Patience pays for the Wrights. The end.